Hello everybody, this is me Vinu Venkatesh again on behalf of Sai Education for Comparative Examinations. So we're going to start a new topic today, square roots, cube roots and dices. So I hope you've been following our lectures so far. Please do keep practicing because we're going to cover some material quite soon. Okay, now before we start doing the questions, I just want to explain the concept of square roots, cube roots and dices. Okay, let's look at an example. 2 into 2 can be written as 2 square or 2 raised to 2, and that is equal to 4. We know that, right? What is square root of 4? Square root of 4 means nothing but find the number which when multiplied by itself once will give you this number. Square root of 4 can be written as 4 raised to 1 by 2. Okay, and since this is a square root, the only number which when multiplied by itself gives 4 is 2. And yes, it can also be minus 2. Understood? Because minus 2 into minus 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, strictly speaking, square root of 4 should be plus or minus 2. Alright? But for now, just understand that square root of 4 is 2. Similarly, what is square root of 25? It is 5. So you'll have to memorize some of the square roots, like 2 into 2 is 4, 1 into 1 is 1, 2 into 2 is 4, 1 into 1 is 1, 3 into 3 is 9, 4 into 4 is 16, 100 into 100 is 10,000. You should know that. Okay. Now 2 into 2 into 2 is can be written as 2 raised to 3 or 2 cube, and that is equal to 8. What is cube root of 8? Cube root of 8 is nothing but the number which when multiplied by itself 3 times gives this number 8. So what is that number? Obviously it is 2. And cube root of 8 can be written as 8 raised to 1 by 3. Okay. Alright, now let us do number 1. It is similar to number 2. Okay. Here they are saying find the cube root of 1,85,193. What a big number. It's a huge number and we don't know the cube root of that. Okay, we discussed what is cube root. Remember, we said 2 cube is equal to 8. Therefore cube root of 2 is cube root of 8 is 2. Okay, now let us follow the method that we discussed here. Let us divide this number into 2 parts. Okay, 185, let us do it. Number 1. So it is 185,193. Okay, let us divide it into 2 parts for simplicity. Now this is ending in 3, right? The cube of which number ends in 3? Let us look. 1 is equal to 1, 2 is 8, 3 is 27, right? 4 cube is how much? 64. 5 cube is 125. 6 cube is how much? 216. 7 cube is 343. 8 cube is 64 into 8 is how much? 248. 512. 9 cube is how much? 729. And 10 cube is 1000. So 7 cube is the only number, that is 343, which ends in 3. So that means this number, the cube, is some multiple of 3 or 7. Okay, we have to keep guessing. We'll have to do guesswork. Okay, so we are looking at a huge number, 289. Is it less than, so is the square of 289 less than 10 or more than 10? For example, let us start with 10. What is the square of 10? 10 into 10, it is 100. Okay, 10 into 10 is 100. We are looking for square root of 289. So since 289 is more than 100, then that means square root of 289 should be more than 10. Correct? So let us look at, say, 15. What is 15 into 15? It is 75. 15, it is 225. So we are getting close, right? So this is still bigger than 15, and I've just chosen this for simplicity. Okay, I know that this is nothing to do with, the square root of this is not ending in 5. It is ending in either 3 or 7. Why? Because the square of 3 is 9 and square of 7 is 49. So there is some connection there. It is not 13. Let us try 17. Is it 17? So 7 into 7 is 49, 7 plus 4 is 11, and then you have 17. It's 289, yay! So that means square root of 289 is 17. See, you have to do some trial and error. You have to start with a simple number, see if this is greater than this or less than this, then accordingly work towards it. Okay, then only you can do it. So within 2-3 minutes you should be able to get the answer. Alright, I want to correct myself. I said that because this ends in 9 and the square of 3 and square of 7 also end in 9, this is a multiple of 3 or 7. I'm sorry, it is not a multiple of 3 and 7. It is some number which is ending in either 3 or 7, and we saw that it is actually 17. See, I want to read out this explanation, which is basically what we discussed, okay? Root of 289 or square root of 289, first we have to make a group of 2 comma 89, okay? Then in the first group of square root, is 89 and the last number is 9. If 9 comes in the last number of the square, it'll either be, the square root will either end in 3 or 7, which is what we discussed. In the first group of square root, the number is 2, the square will be 1. This means that the answer will either be 13 or 7. Here we know the shortcut of 15 into 15 is 225. 289 is greater than 225. So the number will be 17. Okay. So that's why I said first learn the squares of, for example, 1 to say 25. Find the squares. Okay. And memorize it. So that when you do such questions, you will be able to easily follow the shortcut. Okay. Memorize it. Start. What is 1 square? What is 10 square? What is 15 square? What is 12 square? What is 19 square, and so on till 25. Please memorize it. Okay. Please memorize it. Okay. So here you're dividing, they're saying divide it into 2 groups. Even if you don't divide it into 2 groups, if you follow the one that I said, which is slightly easier, it'll be better because it is simpler. If you want, you can follow this method. This is also correct. Like you divide it into 2 groups here, and here you follow the thing that we talked about. It is ending in 9. So that means the square root of this entire number will be ending either in 3 or in 7. Now the first number 2, why are they saying that the square of this number is the square root of 2, the number will be 1? Because 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. That means the first number will not be 2, because this is less than 4. It has to be definitely 1. We cannot say that for sure because this is one full number. So instead of getting confused that way, I would just say that for the time being, do not divide it into groups, but just look at the last number and then do the trial and error that we discussed. So that's why I said you should know the squares of numbers at least from 1 to 25. Okay, that is the best way to go about things. Alright, so let us move on to the first question. Let's move on to the second question, then we'll come to the first one. Okay, now find the square root of 289. Now you cannot use calculators in your exam, so we have to use shortcuts. Okay, how do we have to start? Okay, now remember I told you should know some of the basic square roots of squares of 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, up to 20, up to 50, up to say 25. Try to memorize it. Like what is square of 21? 21 into 21. What do I mean by square? Square means nothing but 21 into 21 into 21, which is equal to how much? I'm also not using calculator. 441. So try to memorize the squares from 1 to 25. Okay, so that you're at least you will know some basics, and it will help you do shortcuts easily. So here see what they're saying is, look at the last figure. It is 9. So look at all the squares from 1 to say 10. Whenever it ends in 9, the chances are that there is some connection with 7, because 7 square is 49, 3 square is 9, right? Similarly, look at 2 square, it's 4, 8 square is 64, so they end in 4. So that means this is probably some multiple of 3 number, the cube, sorry, this is not square root, this is cube root. We have to put a 3 here. Is some number which ends in 7. Okay, because of this. Now this number ending in 5, which the cube of which number ends in 5? Obviously it is 5. So most likely this number is probably 5. We don't know. Okay, how do we check? Now look at the answer choices that they have given you. 23, definitely not. Why? Because we know that the last number will definitely end in 7. That we are sure about. 37, maybe. 57, maybe. 48, definitely not. So now 37 and 57. We are saying the first number may be 5. Again, we don't know. So what we do is just start finding out the cube of 57. That is, you'll have to do trial and error. So what is 57 into 57 into 57? What is that? It is this number. It is 185193. How do I know? You'll have to do the calculation like that. Suppose if it is not this number, then try 37 into 37 into 37. Okay, so I hope this is clear so far. So we will do the remaining questions in our next class, but I want the basics to be strong. So we have discussed the shortcut method. For that, the first and foremost thing what you have to do is please learn the squares of numbers 1 to 25. Write them down on a paper and memorize it. Similarly, learn the cubes of at least 1 to 15. Okay, what is 1 cube? See, we did till 10 here. You do at least till 15 or 20. You memorize it because it will help you do these kind of questions in the shortcut, because calculators are not involved. Okay, we'll continue in our next class. Some of the questions are quite simple, and again, it'll involve shortcuts mainly. So please do what I said. This is very important. Without doing this, you cannot go forward. And keep practicing. And let's meet again in the next class. Until then, all the best and take care.